The Rock. So is that an organization that you started, or okay? Can you tell us a little bit about The Rock and the mission?
Sure. So The Rock basically is a classroom on school property. We have 10 that a kid can get a pass from a teacher and get food, clothing, hygiene, feminine hygiene, school supplies. When they walk in there, they're met with a volunteer who takes them around, takes them shopping, talks to them, mentors them a little bit if they need to. And we see about 400 kids a day during school. And the reason why I started was my experience in growing up. You know, we grew up out in the scrubs. If you guys don't know where the scrubs are, it's almost towards Umatilla. You know, down 42 over Nelson's Fish Camp, behind Buck and Doe's over there. So
wow, it's out there.
Yeah. And a kid coming up from Miami, a Cuban kid coming up from Miami and moving into the scrubs was a huge eye opener for me. But you know what it did, it opened up my eyes to rural poverty and how the lack of hope and the despair that is in that community. You know, it's there's no trash service. You know, so their trash. If you don't have a car that can take the garbage 5 miles down the road to the compactor, basically what you do is you open up your door and you throw it outside. So big mounds of trash in front of yards is a constant. You know, plywood floors, no windows, tarps on the roof, no pest control. So going over a buddy's house, German cockroaches are just part of the landscape. You know, when you get silverware, you just know you're gonna have to wash it off. And then meth hit out there. So we have kids that are going home, they're cooking meth for their parents or selling meth for their parents. They're hooked on meth themselves, prostituting themselves. Parents are prostituting their children. And it's just a huge problem. It was going to be impossible for us to be able to go out into the forest and impact everybody.
Right. So
what we decided to do is have a place of refuge at the school called The Rock. And we opened up our first one at Lakeward High School, where I went to school. And very quickly it became very popular. So they were coming in just for refuge.
Sure.
You know, sometimes that 10 minutes that during The Rock was the best part of their day. You know, the volunteers become part of their life. We've helped kids get braces because they have a speech impediment. They're getting bullied. You know, we had girls that were missing school because they didn't have feminine hygiene.
Right.
So you have these girls that are missing these periods of time, and at some point in time they just drop out.
Wow.
And so we take care of all that. Glasses. You know, we have students that come with cracks and rubber bands and tape. We had one kid that didn't have one. He only had one lens for 2 years, and it's impossible for those kids to be who God called them to be when they're lacking for those basic needs. So we take care of glasses, partnered up with some great businesses that help us do the glasses, and it's changed the culture of the schools. You know, the kids now can, we call it giving them hope for the future by giving them power in the presence. And you can't tell these kids it's going to be okay if they're starving right now or they're being abused and all that type of stuff. So that's how The Rock started. It really went great at Lake Weir, and then we went to North Marion, and then you know, the most popular one is probably the one at Forest High School. You know, they asked us to open up in the same room the shooting happened. So just about every rock room that we've been given has been a negative room. Has been ISS or where the shooting happened. So we've been able to take a room that has a negative vibe to it and turn it into something positive, you know, and provide. So now we have kids that are ministering to other students, you know, and they're becoming student-led.
Yeah.
So what it's done, it's allowed for the conversations to happen. It's shined light on the fact that the kid next to you can be struggling.
Yeah.
You know, so now we have kids. The best thing is, man, when you have another kid, bringing another kid in and go, look, man, here, you can have this, you can have that. So it gives them a purpose as well. You know?
How's that funded? Is it 100% private?
Yeah, it's all private fund.
Okay.
It's me knocking on doors again with my little tote of candy. You know, man, we sure need your help. So it's all private funded.